Welcome to Career Services here at Pillar College. Today we are hosting a resume workshop. We have had several workshops regarding resumes in the past, and I normally like to keep bringing these types of workshops because we all need to brush up on our resumes. There are trends that we should know about, what's in, what's out, and so that is one of the reasons that I like to bring forth this type of content, especially to our students, alumni who are seeking for employment, especially during this soon-to-be post-pandemic era. And I have a few tips that I want to share with you. And towards the end of this workshop, we are going to have a Q&A session. So feel free to ask any questions or make any suggestions that you might have. I also want to share with you another event that we are going to be hosting this coming Friday. We have an online recruiting and info session with Right at School. They are looking to hire on the spot. There are open positions that are available. I have already sent out the email earlier this week. After this particular workshop, I will send out the invitation once again. So make sure that you take all of the tips that we are going to share here today, brush up those resumes, join us back on Friday, the 20th at 11 a.m. and you can schedule an interview with the employer and recruiters who will be presenting and sharing all about their establishment. And they're looking to hire immediately. The pay scale is also going to be included in the email that I will send out. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
I can.
Okay, great.
Yes, I can see it.
Perfect. So let me just do the slideshow from the beginning. Okay, so here is my information. Again, my name is Ingrid Ortiz. I am a undergrad, graduate, and Mac graduate here at Pillar College. I just graduated last July. Can you believe it's been a whole year since I've graduated from the Mac program? I am the Career Services and Internship Coordinator here at Pillar College. My contact information is on the screen, so you can contact me via phone. I've included the email addresses where you can send any emails, whether it's to the Career Services, or if you need to send me a direct email, my information is listed there as well. And I am located in the North Campus, and my office hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you would like to schedule an in-person meeting with me, please feel free to send me an email and we can set up an appointment. Okay, and if you would like to do it via Zoom, we can do that as well. So next up, we have recommended content. So this particular workshop is going to focus mainly on resume and what you should put on your resume, what employers are looking for regarding resumes. And so I wanted to put together this presentation so that we can make sure that the information that we're putting on the resume is brief, yet is giving enough information. But we want to make sure that the information we're putting is relevant and to the point, okay? So the recommended content here that I suggest is your contact information. Make sure that you put your full name, your phone number, an email address. Now, when using an email address, make sure that you have a professional email address. Do not use something like fluffybunny@gmail.com, 123. Sometimes, believe it or not, those type of emails will be a turnoff. So you want something that is professional. Maybe your first initial and last name or your full name. That should be solely dedicated to your resume and for business purposes. Also, you're going to want to put your objective, your education, experience, any activities that you have done that is relevant to the position that you're applying for, skills, references. We're going to get to references is usually something that is no longer added to the resume unless they're requesting that information, at which case it should be on a separate page, and we'll discuss that a little bit later down the line. The next thing that you want to share is contact information. And so the first thing that you're going to want to put is your name at the top of the page, and you want to use a larger font than all of the rest of the information that you are going to put on your resume. You want your name to stand out. Now, you don't want to take up the whole page. Okay, so if you're using a 12 font, then make sure your name is anywhere between an 18 to a 20 font. And try to keep it black and white. Sometimes you don't need to add so many different colors. You just want to make sure that the formatting is correct and that you're using relevant information onto your resume. You're also going to want to list your address where you can be reached. A permanent address is optional. However, if you are uploading your resume onto a social media platform such as LinkedIn, Handshake, or any other platform where this information is going to be visible, I recommend to not include that unless you're contacting the recruiter or employer that will be interviewing you directly. Never put your personal information where everyone is going to see it. You can upload your resume, just omit this particular information out. You also want to include your phone number, a primary phone number, and make sure that whichever phone number you're using, whether it's your cell phone or a landline, make sure that you have a voicemail greeting that is a professional voicemail, and make sure to use discretion. Make sure that when leaving or using a voicemail greeting, the background is quiet, your voice is audible, that you can hear nice and clear, and just keep it simple. Simple is always best. And of course, your email address or a personal homepage. Many students and other professionals are creating online portfolios. If this is something that you have, you can include this as well. Now, this is an example of what the top of your resume should look like. Of course, the gray area is not needed. This is just for the purpose of highlighting the information. So you're going to put your name, I need a job, your phone number, your email address. Here, if you are currently in school, you can put your school address and your home address to the right of the page. Or you can use the second option, which I prefer this one. You're going to put your name, your address and phone number, email address, or website. Now we're going to go to the objective. You want to make sure that the objective is concise and is focused. And you want to also tailor it to the individual organization. And this is where the job description is going to come in handy. Every resume has to be tailored for the specific job that you are applying for. So never send the same resume to all companies, because some of the information that is listed there may not be relevant for the type of position or the company that you are applying for. So whenever you are job hunting and you found certain job postings that you're interested and you're like, this is the job that I want to apply for, make sure that you review the information. Hi, can you please mute? Hi, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. So you want to make sure that you keep this information and you tailor it to the specific job that you are applying for. And it should not exceed more than 2 lines. So you want to be very strategic with this objective sentence. Sometimes I see resumes that I review, they have like a paragraph under the objective. Try to keep it no more than 2 lines. A possible alternative of not using or an objective is a summary of skills or qualifications, best for those with several years of experience. And so you can also include this type of information as well. And I included a brief 2-sentence objective this is from a person who is probably a major in education. And it says, elementary teaching, looking for a position at a small independent school where I can apply my teaching experience, STEM-oriented instruction, technology, and curriculum development skills to support student growth and success. This is right on the money. She is specific on the type of skills that she has and how she can apply these technical skills to the job that she's applying for. This is how you want to structure your objective if you use this on your resume. Next is the education section. The education section, you're going to want to include institution from which you are receiving a degree. So if you are attending Pillar College, that is the information that you're going to put on your resume. You're going to list all of the degrees obtained or you are currently in the middle of obtaining. You also want to use your cumulative GPA. If it is above a 3.0, you want to list it. If it's not, if it's below a 3.0, consider adding your major GPA. And you can find this in your portal, the student portal from the Pillar website, and you're going to click on unofficial transcript, and you should be able to see all of this information. If you study abroad, you want to list the name of the institution, the city and country, and any semesters. Of course, you also want to list relevant courses. Okay, do not abbreviate. You want to make sure that you list the course titles. Again, only if it is relevant to the job that you are applying for. Now, these are sample education sections. So you're going to have the title education. That's the heading. This is the name of the school that this person is attending, the Pennsylvania State University, Berks College. On the right, you're going to see the date and year, or the month and year, the degree that they obtained, BS in biochemistry and molecular biology, molecular and cell biology option. They listed their GPA, relevant courses. As you can see, they entered that information in the style of bullet points. And then they also went to another school, Universidad de Salamanca in Spain. And of course, they studied abroad, advanced study in protein purification and enzymology. And so this is how you're going to want to structure your education experience based off of this template. There are other ways that you can include this information, but this is nice and clean cut. Next, we're going to move on to your experience. Now, you want to make sure when including experienced information that it is related to or unrelated to any goals. Usually you want to relate them to your goals, and you also want to make sure that the goals that you are putting down is also going to correlate with the job that you are applying for. Again, this is why you should research the company. You should make sure that you know the job listing and the qualification and requirements that the employer is looking for, so that you're able to structure your resume with your skills and what they are asking for. You also want to categorize your headings. So if you have no experience in the field in which you are applying for, the only experience that you have is internship, that you want to make sure that you categorize your headings with internship experience. You also can use related experience, may have more than one heading. It depends on what it is that you're listing. You want to make sure you put the work experience, employment, and only list paid experience. Now, we know that some internships are paid or unpaid, but because it's an internship, you want to make sure that you have a categorized heading for that specific internship, so that the person that's looking at your resume will know that's how you gain that specific type of experience. Also, there are general headlines for listing information. So you are going to list more important information first. You always want to prioritize the most important and most relevant information for that job first. You want to keep your order consistent. You also want to use action verbs and keywords. And at the end of this particular workshop, I am going to provide a link where you can find the most powerful and impactful keywords to use on your resume. Also, focus on accomplishments. This is what an employer wants to see. This is what recruiters are looking for, your accomplishments. What did you do, and how did you do this? So you want to qualify it, and you also want to quantify. And then also no lists more than 6 bullets, okay? Because after that, the person that's reading your resume, they're gonna lose focus. I normally, when I review resumes under experience, they have like 20 bullet points under that specific task that they did. You need no more than 6. I will keep it between 3 to 6 bullets at the most. Try to limit text to 2 lines per bullet. You also don't want to write a whole big paragraph under 1 bullet. Again, keep it simple. Simple is always best. And this is a sample experience critique. And so this is related experience. The person worked at a particular company, so they list the company corporate headquarters, where it's located. Quality operations, he or she applied as an intern from date to present, and you see they have 4 bullets, and most of them are all just 1 line. So it is to ensure operational excellence related to clinical trial activities. Track progress to key quality indicators, quality plan, and overall compliance to applicable processes and regulations. So this person is very strategic in the skills that they've obtained throughout their internship. And this is the information that they are putting onto their resumes. Just because you've never worked, if you are a psychology and counseling student, just because you've never worked as a counselor before does not mean that you may not have skills or experience that you've done that is relatable to the counseling field. And this is why it is important that you meet with the career services office so that we can pull out those experiences that you may have, and we can translate that onto paper. Some of us volunteer at church, some of us volunteer at our children's school. All of these experiences that we gain as we volunteer can be translatable onto our resumes. Okay. Also, they had another internship, as you can see here, Johnson & Johnson in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and they also listed all of the all of the tasks and responsibilities that they were to take part in during that resume. I am going to take a brief pause to see if anyone has any questions that they would like to ask. Anyone? Okay, if not, then I will go back. All right, so now we are going to move on to leadership experience. Campus community volunteer professional affiliations. This is so important. If you are currently enrolled in Pillar College, I would like for you to emphasize that it is important that you join as many clubs as you're able to. I don't want you to go ahead and join a club because Ingrid from Career Services says that I have to. No, if it's going to help you down the line, especially if you do not have any experience, I suggest that you enroll or take part in any of the student clubs that we are going to have in this upcoming new semester. You want to get involved and volunteer within your community. Do any type of outreach. Reach out to professional affiliations that you may know that may take you on as a volunteer that's going to help you to gain this experience. And you can include this in separate sections, or you can include it all in one. You want to make sure that you provide details. Positions held and date ranges over which positions were held, contributions to events, and you can list activities and experience in the experience section. Give me one moment here. I have someone who's trying to get in, so I'm sending them the link. I apologize. So you want to make sure that you list all of that information. Now, in your resume, you can also have another section titled or categorized as skills. This is optional, so you don't have to include it unless you don't have enough experience information. So you want to fill in the page, because remember, your resume should be one page, no more than that. So you can use the skills section to list additional qualifications that you may have that is relevant to the job and where you feel confident it will help you get the job. So you want to list things such as your computer skills, any type of languages or programs, foreign languages, if you're fluent, conversational, knowledgeable. Be prepared to prove it in your interview. A lot of companies are looking for bilingual individuals who can speak 2 languages or more. And if you are one of those students who can do that, by all means, list it. If it's gonna help you get the job, then put it on your resume. Also, any other skills such as interpersonal or communication, etc. Then you have your references. Now, generally, they are no longer included on resumes. Employers most often ask for them at the time of the interview. So at the time of the interview, you're going to want to make sure that you already have this. You're going to have a list on a sheet of paper. Make sure it's typed, make it look professional. And you're going to have a copy of this when you are in the interview office. And when they ask for it, you already have it on hand. You want to make sure that you include the person's name, their titles, mailing addresses, phone numbers, and email address. Generally, an employer always looks for 3 to 5 references. You want to make sure, excuse me, that the individuals that you're using have supervisor titles, they're professors or other faculty, etc. And always, before you put someone down on a reference sheet, make sure that you ask them first. Let them know. You don't want them to get off or be caught by surprise when someone is calling them. Let them know ahead of time. Hi, Ingrid, I'm going to be using you as a reference for a job. Is it okay? If they say yes, perfect. Make sure that you go over any titles that they may have so that you properly listed onto that reference sheet. And after that, make sure you send them a thank you note. There's nothing more show of appreciation than taking the time and writing a thank you note to that person, letting them know how much you appreciate them for being a reference for a specific job opportunity. Hi, Martha, are you able to get in?
I did. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Next, we have appropriate formats. Now, in my previous workshop, I've included.
I have a question.
Yes.
The reference sheet, is that separate from the resume or is included in the resume?
No, it is separate from the resume. You're going to want to make sure, because like I stated before, and let me see if I can go back. Generally, they're no longer included on resumes. The reference pages, employers usually ask for them during the time of the interview. Okay, so that's why I just stated that you want to have a separate sheet already typed up. If they call you in for an interview, you're going to want to bring a copy of your resume, and then you're going to want to have a separate reference sheet in case they ask you for this. You're prepared. And you're like, yes, I have a reference sheet right here. And you want to make sure that it's generally between 3 to 5 individuals, okay? And always ask them first before adding their information or giving their information out. Tina, do you have any further questions?
No, thank you.
Oh, okay, you're welcome. And so you want to also make sure to use your appropriate formats when creating your resume. I have, in my past workshops, I have shared the different types of formats that you can use for resumes. These are the 3 most typical ones that you would use, which is a chronological resume, which presents your experience in reverse chronological order. This is like the most used resume. You also have your functional skill. This is experience placed under major skill headings, and combination, which allows you to list experiences in different categories and place related experience first. If you are not sure which one you need to use, you can set up an appointment with me here at Career Services. My office hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can schedule an in-person session, or you can also request a virtual session at your discretion. You just let me know you're able to meet via Zoom, and we can set up an appointment. You can also reach the Academic Resource Center, Professor Watkis. He will also be taking on appointments for any students or alumni who may need help in crafting their resume. So here at Pillar College, we've covered all the bases. We make sure that the students have all of the tools that they are going to need, not just these students, but the alumni as well. All of the students that, all of the tools that you are going to need to better equip yourselves to making sure that you can land that job. We are here to help you. We are here to support you, not just in this knowledge and sharing on how to craft your resume, but we're also here to pray with you and encourage you so that you can be motivated and have the self-confidence, because self-confidence is so important when you are searching for a job. If you lack confidence, the recruiter and the employer, they're going to see that, and they're going to, you're not going to look like the right person for the job, because you're going to be nervous. You're going to be fidgety, and those are body languages that they are going to look at. In fact, I'm working on another workshop where we're going to cover those topics of body language and how to check ourselves when entering into the interview phase. But right now, you want to focus on your resume. You want to craft it. You want to make sure a resume is not a one-time deal. You just don't create one and leave it like that. It is something that has to constantly be reviewed and updated, because every day you progress and you learn something new. And so you want to make sure that those new experiences that you gain, that you also add them onto your resume. Really quick, I want to share, I am in the process of obtaining my license as an associate counselor, because that's the plan. Once you graduate from the MAC program, the next step is getting licensed by the state of New Jersey. They ask for a resume. And so I have to, a resume or a CV, curriculum vitae, as I mentioned in previous workshops as well. This is where you're going to put in all your education information, and you're going to list all of your experiences. And this is why it is so important that you constantly refresh your resume. So I would keep a copy on my computer, making sure that I have a template to follow, and then I can omit and add as changes come along. Okay. Next up, we have the layout. You want to use one page versus 2 pages. Nowadays, they only want 1 page. 2 pages is too much stuff. There are too many resumes coming on their desk. Nowadays, they have like even a computer is filtering through all of these resumes, and they're only looking for certain keywords, target words, and those are the words. That's how they filter your resume, and that will determine what the recruiter is going to get to see. So this is resume writing is a practice, and that's why it's called a practice, because it's something you have to do over and over and over. So you want to make sure you keep it to 1 page. You want to make sure that the margins are generally about 75 inches on all 4 sides, no smaller than 0.5. Your font, you want to make sure that you're using no more than 2 different types. The size should be 10 to 12, the pitch larger for your name and headers, like I stated before. For emphasis, recommended that you use bold or all caps, and use sparingly italics and the underline. So try not to italicize anything on your resume or use too much underline. I would try not to use all caps either. I would just, if you want a specific word or something to stand out, I would use the bold. You are going to use a PDF or an RTF. An RTF is a rich text format, and that is a Word setting. If you're using the Word application, and you want to make sure to format to maintain formatting. What happens when you save a Word document and then you email that Word document? Sometimes the layout will shift. And so when the person receives that document and they open it, the information is all over the place. And so they're going to just toss it. You can be the person for the job, but because the layout is all over the place, you're going to get looked over. So you want to make sure that when you save the document, save one as a Word document for yourself, for you to edit, and the one you're going to send out to your employers for as you fill out the job applications, you want to save it as a PDF or an RTF. And then you also want to have some good strategies. And this is just kind of like summarizing what I've went through and spoke about earlier. Tailor your objective according to your to the job that you are applying for. The same thing with all of your skills and experience. If you're applying for a counseling job, but everything that you put in your resume has to do with education, working in a classroom, there's no relevance for the job that you're applying for. So they may not even call you in for an interview. So this is why all resumes are not created equal. Each resume has to be tailored according to the job description and the qualifications that the employer or recruiter is asking for. You want to clearly articulate experiences that match with those being sought. Again, is just doing your research. You want to be concise, but not too brief. So you have to learn how to have a balance. And this is why you should continuously work on your resume. Even if you have your job, you should continuously work on your resume. And the reason I say this is that you may have a full-time job right now. You're happy at your job. However, within your own company where you're working, a new position opens up where now you can move up. In order for you to be considered for that position, they're going to ask for a resume. Now you have to scramble and start working on a resume when you should have one already crafted. Write down all of the experiences that you learned during your time at the specific company so that when the time comes, you are one of the first ones to put in that resume for that new position that opened up within your company or within your department. Include unique experiences, okay, that set you apart. And again, keywords. Keywords are important. I have a website here. It is free. It is called careercloud.com. And it's buzzwords. So you want to make sure you use that /news resume-buzzwords, and it's going to give you a list of all of the different keywords that you can use depending on the type of position that you are applying for, so that those keywords will stand out in your resume as the recruiter or employer are looking at it. The next thing that I want to also point out is proofread. Proofread your resume. Sometimes we can misspell a word and not even notice. And when the recruiter and employer is looking at that, they're looking for those grammatical errors. They're looking for any missed punctuation. You know, a comma means a lot. So you want to make sure that you proofread and you share it with someone else that can also, another set of eyes that can look at it and kind of pick out what you've missed. And that is why we are here. So you can always make an appointment with Career Services so that we can review your resume as well as the ARC. Any questions? This is the time for Q&A. I think that I've shared a lot of information. Any questions or comments? Martha?
Yes.
Yes.
I see that you mentioned that we shouldn't have too many bullet points. Now, I've had 3 jobs in the last 20 years. So one is 11 years, the other one was 5, and the other one was 8. None of them are related to the type of work that I'm looking for now. So how should I go about it? Like, I saw the breakdown that you have, and I have some of that info on my resume, but I have no type of work experience in my field. I'm going into a whole new field once I
Okay.
graduate.
So you are doing a career change, which is, that's happening a lot now, especially
Mhm.
because of the pandemic. Everybody's changing careers. And so because you are in school, then this is why I stated before that it is important that you start joining in some of the clubs that are related to your field of study, and that you begin to do some volunteer work before you start doing your internship course.
Well, that I am on a couple of boards that relate to the mental health. So
Okay.
I do have some of that outreach, and I am physically involved in the community that would help me boost, some kind of knowledge into the mental health, but that's
Okay.
about it.
Okay, so then that's the information that you're going to use on your resume. And if you need help in making it and expressing that onto paper, make an appointment with me.
Yeah,
I'm
I sent you an email prior, and I thought you
Okay.
responded with this, so that's why
Okay.
I joined in.
Okay, so I will definitely, we can schedule something if you want to come on campus, or I'll send you a separate email and we can just schedule accordingly, okay?
All right.
Anyone else?
I had a question. I worked in a daycare
Okay.
for a couple of, I think 6 months
Okay.
or even more. That was like 7 years ago. Would that still be considered for the child elementary school position? Teacher assistant?
I would use it. I would be there. I would attend. I would plan to attend on Friday. I would have my resume ready on Friday, and they're going to have a Q&A session. I don't think that it's that far behind that it's no longer relevant. It is still experience. And who knows? You never know. What have you been doing now up until that point that it could be relevant?
Home health aide. So I work with
Okay.
mental disability, elderly people, and with diseases too.
Okay, and you're currently enrolled at Pillar College, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what are you studying?
Counseling and psychology.
You're studying psychology and counseling. Okay. Yeah, I would just use that information. I would come on Friday, and you can ask questions. They're going to be there to help you and assist you any way they can.
Okay, and and you said there's going to be volunteer work from other places.
Yes, when it's volunteer work, that's technically going to be your responsibility to kind of seek those opportunities out. So if you have a home church, you can always connect with your senior pastor and see if there are any community outreach that your church is planning to do. You can also connect with your peers here at Pillar College. You can speak to your professors, ask them that you're looking to volunteer. Usually I also have some sites that are also looking for volunteers as well. So it is just staying in the know, asking questions, connecting with the student engagement team, which Martha is part of the student development team. She is here right now. Martha, would you like to say hello really quick so that the students know who you are?
Hi, I'm the one who sends out all the emails. Yeah, so I'm the student engagement event coordinator. So any event that goes on at the college, I help plan the clubs. Yeah.
Yes, and if you are looking or seeking for a club that Pillar College does not have, you may want to connect with Martha if you have an idea for a club, and together maybe you guys can come up with something that can maybe and possibly be something that can be included at Pillar College. So
I would love that. That would be awesome. Yes.
Yes, so make sure that you connect with Martha. We are here to provide you with the tools that you need, but we don't know it all. So we also need your feedback as students and alumni. And if there's something that you would like to see happen more at Pillar College, please connect with us. We are part of the student development. You can reach out to me here at Career Services. You can contact Martha. Martha, if you can type in your email address in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. And
Sure.
we will do the best that we can to try to come up with a plan and put that plan into action so that you can have those tools made available to you. I'm going to turn quickly to the chat. Did I answer your question, by the way?
Yeah, can I have her email? Just
Yes, she is going to type it in. Yeah, she's going to type it into the chat.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Elizabeth says, I thank you, Ingrid, for your helpful information. We all need those support from you. God bless you. You are so welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you for always participating in the workshops. Gilbert says, where can I find the recording of this video? Good question, Gilbert. The student development team, we have a YouTube channel. It is called this Pillar Student Life over on YouTube. You can subscribe to that channel. I highly recommend that you subscribe to that channel as soon as we're done in this meeting. In fact, if you go to the channel, I have a playlist there with all of the past workshops that I have done here via Zoom. So you can check those out at your earliest convenience. You will also find past chapel events that Martha and Dr. Thomas have hosted. So if you need a word of refreshing, I mean, anyone that preaches from the word of God, that word is timeless. So if you need that touch, you can go and check out those replays. They're there for a reason. Martha also has some videos on tips and tricks that can help you move throughout your day and have a more successful day on campus. So check out the channel. I will also, after I email everyone, I'll include that email moving forward, or not email, I'm sorry. I will include the YouTube channel moving forward on all of the career service events so that you can have it. Next, Gabriel also says, it should be noted that companies often ask for the names of people who are not family members for the reference sheet. It is more than obvious that they will never give bad references about you. Thank you for pointing that out. That's why I mentioned before that you want to make sure people that you are including in your references are supervisors, professors, people who are part of the faculty or staff. These are the people that you want, that you've worked with in the past, that are going to not be biased. They're going to give a reference, they're going to give the best information that they have from what they've seen from you in the classroom or while working together in a particular project. Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments? No? Well, with that being said, I want to thank you all for taking the time and joining me in this week's workshop. Do not forget, on Friday, August 20th at 11 a.m., I will do another live recruiting session. Now, even if you are not interested in applying for the job, I suggest that you would just tune in so that you can observe what an online recruitment session and info session is all about, because this is something that we're going to have more of, and it's going to cover all of the different majors that we have here at Pillar College. So you want to make sure that you tune in. And thank you so much for your time. If any question may come up after this workshop, feel free to send me an email and I will respond to you at my earliest convenience. And if there are no other questions, then I pray that you stay safe and I look forward to meeting with you. God bless. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
God bless you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.